Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Gita, you have a problem in your hearing?
No, sir.
Now it's okay?
Yes, sir.
Radhika?
Yes, sir. Now it's okay, sir. Audible.
Okay. Done. Let's wait for 5-10 minutes, then we'll get into session.
Okay, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah, Radhika, tell me.
Total, how many students are there, sir?
Actually, that's close to your group has like 30-40 people, but only 10 people has joined.
Okay, sir.
Just waiting. We maintain some standard time, no? When we say 9:30, it is 10 o'clock for all the people.
Yes, sir.
Wait for some more time. Because this class is important for you. It's because regarding your career.
Okay, sir.
Let us, they come. Just 5-10 minutes, then we'll start off. We don't need to wait longer time.
Tinta, Papa?
Everyone are there in that group, no?
Okay.
They are like close to 40 people.
Total 51 members are there, sir, in group. Members, sir.
Sorry, Radhika.
Total 51 members are there in group, sir.
Okay, 51 with everyone, no? From 1, 2, 3. Few people said that they'll be joining the class, but they are not been seen here. Few in the group they said today they have training or not. So did Gayatri join the session? good morning, everyone. Let's start our session.
Okay, sir.
Shall we do a recap of what has happened yesterday?
Sir.
నిన్న ఏం జరిగిందో ఈరోజు ఒకసారి తెలుసుకుందామా?
ఓకే సార్.
That what we learned yesterday. See, people can get back to me. I've asked few questions. If anybody out there who got prepared for that questions, they can come back. Okay. You can answer by raising your hand. Option, raise your hand and you can speak to me. What we learned yesterday? మనం ఏం నేర్చుకున్నా చెప్పగలుగుతారా ఎవరైనా? It might be any of the languages. I'm okay with that. Geeta, can you? Yeah, Sarika. Sarika, speak out. Sarika, there is an issue with your internet. If I'm not wrong, you're unable to. Sarika, I can't hear you properly.
Hear me?
Anybody? Geeta, Archana, Shirisha, Chandana is anyway, she's leaving for interview. Yeah, Shirisha.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Shirisha.
We learn about public sector banks, private sector banks, and cooperative banks. Yes, sir.
How many public sector banks are there?
There are 27, I thought, sir.
You thought 27?
Yes, sir.
Got any figures first?
Punjab National Bank, Bank of Baroda.
There are 12 nationalized banks. That's public sector banks which are
Yes.
running. There are only 12.
Yes, sir.
After the merger and everything, there are 12.
Okay, sir.
So private banks?
Private sector banks scheduled into 3 types. Scheduled banks, unscheduled banks, and foreign banks.
Good.
And it includes Axis Bank, Bandhan Bank, City Union Bank, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, etc. sir.
How many foreign banks are there?
22, sir.
Foreign banks are 22 or private banks?
Private banks 22, sir. Foreign banks, it has a lot of foreign banks, sir.
Sorry, it has a lot of?
I got 27, sir.
There are 45 foreign banks.
Okay.
Can you name any few foreign banks?
Yes, sir.
What are they? Tell me the names.
HFBC Bank, Royal Bank.
Sorry, another one?
Royal Bank of Scotland.
Yeah. They call it as RBS, Royal Bank of Scotland.
Yes, sir. Development Bank of Singapore. America Bank.
Okay.
Okay.
Bank of America. Next.
Actually, yesterday I joined in the class at last minute, sir.
Okay, good, Sarisha.
For
Whatever you learned
that,
from last session, that's good. So anybody who are there from the starting? Can anybody tell me what is the full form of BFSI? Can anybody tell me what is the full form of BFSI without searching Google?
Full form of BSFI.
Yeah, what's the full form of BFSI?
Banking, financial services, and insurance.
Good, good, good. So you remember that, yes?
Sir,
Good for you, sir. So when was the first banking has started? What was the first bank? In which year it got started?
1786, sir.
17?
86.
What were the presidency banks?
Presidency banks are Bank of Bengal, Bombay, and Bank of Madras.
Okay. They're all merged into what bank?
Imperial Bank,
Yes. Then when was RBI set up?
1935.
Okay.
Nine.
Banks fall under which regulatory act?
1949.
What is that act called?
Banking Regulation Act.
Good, Kaveri. So how is our financial system divided into? The financial system?
Two types.
Sorry?
Four types. Sir.
What are they?
Financial institutions and markets and instruments and services.
Yes. Financial institutions are divided into?
Bank,
Sorry, Radhika, repeat it again. Kaveri, can you repeat it? Kaveri, can you say how the financial
Yes, sir.
institutions are divided into how many categories?
Four types.
What are they?
Four categories, sir.
Yeah.
Financial institutions and financial markets and financial instruments and financial services.
Good. What are financial
And
institutions?
in two types. In that two types is there, sir. Banks and non-banking sectors.
Okay.
And
Finance markets?
financial markets divide categories are four types, sir.
Hmm.
Money market and capital market, forex market and credit market.
Can you speak about them?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Money markets refers to the trading in short-term debit investments, sir.
okay.
Capital markets is as we call it as a long-term debit.
Mm-hmm.
Foreign markets comes under the currency values,
Mm-hmm.
and the credit markets we call it bonds and securities, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So,
And after that, financial instruments and services we discussed about that, sir, yesterday.
yes. What are they?
Financial instruments, it's called like bonds and securities.
Mm.
Services as called as sale benefits. It is what we call it services means activities and benefits connected with the sale of money.
Mm.
After that, we go through that financial institutions.
Okay.
The financial institutions divided as banking and non-banking, financial markets, financial instrument, financial services.
You're going through your notes and you're giving me the answer?
No, sir.
No? Okay. Tell me.
After that, we go through that public sectors and private sectors,
Okay.
um, cooperative banks and development banks.
Okay. So
And
development banks lend to common individuals.
sir,
Can individual go to a development bank for opening an account or anything?
I couldn't understand.
Can an individual like you and me can open an account with a development bank?
No, sir.
Who can have the access to the development bank? Who can operate banking with development banks?
Development banks, NABARD and IDBA.
Yes, they are the bigger bank. They only deal with the projects.
Yes, sir.
So they deal with economic projects and everything. So the big corporates would have accounts with them and they'll be taking from them.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So which bank is on the top list today?
SBI.
SBI?
HDFC, sir.
Yes. SDFC is the top bank. Second stance is SBI. Third stance is ICICI Bank.
Yes, yes.
What else we learned yesterday? What else? What else we learned yesterday? This is what we learned yesterday. ఇంకేమైనా నేర్చుకున్నామా? Did we learn yesterday something else? Today we'll be talking about who is banker, who is our customer. Okay. We'll be talking about who is a banker, who is a customer, what is the definition of a banker and what is the definition of a customer. Okay. Can anybody tell me who is a banker? Or can anybody tell me who is a customer? Simple question. Can anybody tell me who is a banker or who is a customer actually?
Sir, the person who is opening an account in bank, he is the customer for the bank, sir.
Good, Radhika. Anybody who is taking the services of a bank is a customer to a bank.
Yes, sir.
Anybody who is providing, any institution which is providing banking services is called a banker.
Banker.
That's a simple definition, okay?
Yes, sir.
Why have you been to a bank?
Sir?
Anytime you've been to the bank, you went to bank?
Sir, can you repeat? Sir, your voice is not audible, sir.
How is it audible? Ravi Chapandi?
హలో
రవి గారు చెప్పండి.
శశి గారు, ఒక చిన్న అనౌన్స్మెంట్.
చెప్పండి.
మా ఈ రియల్మీ C3 తో ఎవరు లాగిన్ అయ్యారమ్మా? రియల్మీ C3 అండ్ రెడ్మీ. హలో
హలో గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ సార్.
మా ఈ రెడ్మీ మీ పేరు కొంచెం ఎంటర్ చేయండి అమ్మా, ఎందుకంటే మాకు కొంచెం నేమ్స్ విజిబుల్ కావటం లేదు.
చౌహాన్ పూజ సార్ నా పేరు.
కాదమ్మా, అక్కడ రీనేమ్ చేయండి. మీరు డబుల్ ట్యాప్ కానీ సింగిల్ ట్యాప్ కానీ చేస్తే అక్కడ రీనేమ్ అని వస్తుంది.
ఓకే సార్.
అక్కడ సింగిల్ ట్యాప్ చేస్తే రీనేమ్ అని వస్తుంది. మీ పూర్తి పేరు అక్కడ ఎంటర్ చేసి అటెండ్ కాండి అమ్మా క్లాసెస్, ఎందుకంటే మాకు ఎవరెవరు వస్తున్నా మాకు తెలియాలి కదా. రెడ్మీ అంటే మీ పేరు రావటం లేదు మాకు ఇంకా. మీరు చేసేసేయండి పూజ గారు అది, సరేనా? మా ఇంకా ఈ రియల్మీ C3 ఎవరిది? హలో హలో అమ్మ, రియల్మీ C3 కాస్త ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో అది కొంచెం రీనేమ్ చేసి ఎంటర్ కండి అమ్మా దీంట్లోకి.
ఓకే సార్.
మీ పేరమ్మా?
గాయత్రి భట్టు.
మీరేమ్మా, చేసేసేయండి సరేనా? అది రీనేమ్ చేసి రోజు క్లాసెస్ అటెండ్ అవ్వండి అమ్మా, ఎందుకంటే మాకు కొంచెం తెలియాలి కదా ఎవరు అటెండ్ అవుతున్నారో లేదని.
ఓకే సార్.
ఓకే అమ్మా, సారీ ఫర్ ఇంటరప్షన్. క్యారీ ఆన్.
ఓకే.
Why have you been to a bank? Anybody who has been to bank in last 1 week or something like that? Anybody who has been to bank? Anybody who has been to the bank the last 1 week or something like that for any of the transaction?
No, sir.
No, sir. Okay. No one? Why do you go to a bank?
For transaction.
Credit or debit the money.
What is called credit? What is called debit in the bank? What do you call that?
బ్యాంక్ లో మనీ దాచుకోవడం క్రెడిట్ అంటే.
It's called deposit. In banking terminology, you call it as deposit. In accounting terminology, you call it as credit or debit. In banking terminology, it's called deposit. And taking withdrawal is called debit. It is called withdrawal. Okay. So it is.
For the purpose of deposits and withdrawals, sir.
Yeah. To all the participants, there's a request actually. When you're sitting, sit somewhere else where you have a calm background. When you're talking to me, there is a lot of disturbance coming from your background. So ensure your background is silent and we can have a conversation properly. I'm unable to hear your voices, but I can hear voices which are behind you. So sit somewhere where there is a calm environment. So that there won't be any disturbance when you're when you have a hand raise option and when you're talking to me, then there won't be any disturbance. We go to bank for doing deposits of money. That's called crediting into your account. Someone said credit, that's called credit into your account. That's in the banking terminology, that is called deposit of money. Then we go to withdraw the money which is there in our account. That's called debiting the account in accounting terminology. Please change that terminology from accounting into the banking. It is called deposit and it is called withdrawal. Then we go for a demand draft, DD. If you want to take any DD or anything, you go to a bank, you take a DD. You all know DD, yes? Have you been to bank for collecting, taking any DD?
Demand
Yeah.
deposit.
No, it's a demand draft.
Demand draft.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
It's a demand draft. It is like a payer's check or something. It's like a on demand, they'll pay that amount actually.
Okay, sir.
So that instrument, they'll be paying you. Apply for a loan. Might have been someone have been to the bank to get a loan. Loans might be anything. We look into the things what loans are there actually. Next, transfer of money. Transfer of money from one account to other.
Rakesh, man.
Transfer of money from one account to other, or doing. There are a lot of transferring of money. We'll be getting into that in the future classes. How money would be transferred from one account to other. We'll be talking about RTGS. We will be talking about IMPS, NEFT, and everything, but not today. So we go to bank for all these transactions actually: deposit, withdrawal, demand draft, apply for the loans, and everything. So, what is your relationship with the banker? In a banking thing, as per your terminology, banker and a customer relation should it's like a principal and agent relation. That's like in commerce terminology, but normally it is a customer and a banker relation, a simple term. Definition of a banker: a banker or a banking company is a corporate body that accept deposits from public, lends or invests the money so collected by the way of deposits, allows withdrawals of the deposit on demand or by any other means. It means a banker or a body with you can't say a banker in a simple terminology actually. A banker is a person who helps in doing all the activities, but he sits in the bank. It's a company which accepts a deposit from the public. That's demand deposit from the public. Out of that deposits, they invest or lend in form of loans. Then it allows you to withdraw the deposits on demand by any means, like it might be a ATM withdrawal, it might be a check withdrawal, it might be a transfer or anything. It allows you to do that. This is the definition of a banker. People have written it.
No, sir.
Write it down.
Yes, sir.
You got the point. You got my thing. If you have a problem in understanding, if people said yesterday that English is okay for you all people, if you are unable to understand my English, you can get back to me. I'll explain you in other language. Is that okay if I speak in English?
Yes, sir.
Everybody can hear me, no?
Okay, sir.
So you understood who is a banker now and who is a what is a banking company actually. Now we'll get into who is a customer. Okay. Definition of a customer. A customer is an individual or organization who conducts banking transactions with the bank. You might have some bank account. You go to a bank, do a deposit and come. That's called a banking transaction. You go to a bank, withdraw some amount from your account. That's called a banking transaction. So a customer is an individual or an organization who conducts banking transactions with the bank. A simple terminology. Banking, a business of trust. Banking is a trust-based business or trust-based relation actually. You just keep your money because of the trust which you have with the bank. Yes, you don't need to see anything. Banker doesn't see. You come and deposit with me, I'll give you my see, it is something where you don't need to, bank doesn't give you any trust thing like if I say that if you are taking money from any private people, they'll be asking you to keep gold, bike or land as a security. Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
But when
Yes, sir.
you deposit with the bank, would you ask bank to give security?
No, sir.
No. It's a trust-based thing. So bank is a trust-based relationship. A customer trusts the bank with his deposits, and the bank trusts the customers with lending. Yes, bank would trust you by looking into your transactions and everything for 1 year and everything. Then they'll give you a loan because they trust you because you're doing a good transaction. Your account has money. You're operating properly. It trusts you and it gives you money as a loan. There will be different sort of a loans. By looking into that, you can get a loan and everything. Banker would see each and loan, how much they need to give, what are the criteria and everything. That's a different story. We'll get into that loan sections in later sessions. So banks trust you and gives you the loan. If bank doesn't trust you, they don't give you. The banker and a customer relation is only trust-based relation. Liquidity, profitability, and safety. What do you call liquidity? Any idea about liquidity?
Don't know, sir.
Don't know.
Which can be easily converted into cash.
I'm sorry, somebody said. Priyanka, you said something.
Yes, sir, which can easily be converted into cash.
Which can easily be converted into cash. Any point of a time, you can convert that into cash. So, how do you convert into cash in this banking terminology? Now, in this banking, how about you convert easily? Banks accept demand deposits. You know, demand deposits? Demand deposits are the deposit. Whenever customer wants the money, bank should honor it and give it. Whenever it is. You deposit your money, you go withdraw from an ATM, it is honoring you. So the liquidity means whenever it is, your funds are available to you. It is not that you need to wait for 1 or 2 days to get that done, or you need to stay in the queue to honor your things and everything. If there is a money in your account, you can get it in minutes. So your liquidity is high with the banking. Then profitability. What is profitability?
Interest, sir.
Interest. What is the interest? You get it on your savings account?
Savings account, deposits, fixed deposits.
Yeah. The savings account, how much is the interest rate which bankers are giving it currently?
Very less, sir.
Yeah, how much is that?
I don't know the exact percentage.
It is 3 to 4% per annum actually, depending on the banks. They give.
Yeah, on fixed deposit it ranges around 5 to 7%.
Yep, it is five. It starts with 2.5 and goes up to 7. Depends on the tenure actually. If the tenure is high, you'll get the little higher rate of interest. If the tenure is less, you'll get the lesser interest rate. Okay. So that's the profitability which you get it. Again, safety. If you keep your funds In your home, you have a liquidity, but you don't have a profitability and you don't have a safety. Yes, but when you keep that in a bank, you have a safety there that your funds don't go away. Bank as a trust, bank is backed by RBI, so any bank can't shut the doors and run away. RBI would be looking into that. So you'll be getting your money back. By investing the customer funds into profitable ventures or lending the funds to the viable project, the bank makes it a profitable both for itself and for the customers. Bank invests funds by way of loans or into the market, and they get the interest. That interest in turn would be stayed with the customer on the fixed deposits or on the savings account. It's a both win-win situation for the banker and a customer. Banks allow the customer to draw his funds whenever he needs them. That bank assures liquidity of the funds. Anytime you deposit, you have money, you go it anytime to the ATM, you withdraw the money, come, you go to a bank, do a check withdrawal, you'll get the money. You transfer money from one account to the other, that's also liquidity very faster. So the liquidity is easy with the banks. Assuring profits and liquidity, bank ensures safety of the customers. Both it gives you liquidity and it gives you profitability and in turn a safety. So what you learned out of this session, what you learned out about this banker and customer relation?
It is of a principal and agent relationship.
Yeah, but what was the definitions and everything? What is the definition which we learned?
Trust-based relationship, sir.
Yeah. Anything?
A banker is a person who gives banking services like lending, loans, accepting deposits, opening account.
Yeah. Banker or a banking company is a financial institution that accepts deposits from publics, allows to withdraw on demand. A customer is the one who carries the banking transactions. Banking is a trust-based relationship. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this is how the banker and
Customer.
customer relationship is. We are talking about safety and everything, no?
Yes, sir.
Bank
Yes, sir.
safety and everything. How the safety has come here.
So as RBI is governing each and every bank, the safety measures is also taken by RBI.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question. Who has asked me a question now?
No, you asked the question how the safety measures are taken. So I replied to that. RBI is governing each and every bank, so safety measures is taken by RBI too.
Yeah, we are getting into RBI now. RBI is backing every banking transaction, every bank and everything. RBI gives them the license to do a banking transaction. That's where it gives an assurity for the customers and as well as the bankers on everything. We'll be coming into that session now. Now Priyanka was telling me about RBI. So now the session is for the RBI only. Introduction of RBI. When was RBI introduced? When was RBI started? Can anyone tell me when was RBI started?
1935, sir.
1935. RBI started in 1935. Reserve Bank Act was started in 1934. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And when was RBI nationalized?
1948.
Yep. Now someone read this case study.
Yes, sir. A private chit fund company has allegedly cheated its investors to the tune of rupees 2 crore. In this connection, the police have arrested a person. The proprietor of a company is, however, absconding. According to police, the chit fund company has been functioning for the last 8 years. Though the company initially returned the chit company to investors with interest, it has stopped refunding the money for the past 3 months. When the investors started persistently demanding for their money, the chit fund company vacated its office 3 days ago. Its owners have since been absconding.
So what do you understand about this?
So there is no safety in investing with private chit funds.
We are talking about safety here. We are talking about a regulation. We are talking about a body which comes with rules and regulations. So here, chit fund companies which are not registered or which are not under the guidelines of RBI and everything, the cheating would happen, and you don't have safety for your funds and everything. This chit fund company was doing the business from last 8 years, but at the end of the 8 years, they couldn't pay the amount with 2 crores. They vanished. They shut the doors and they vanished. Now customers can only go to police station and file a case. If the owner has been caught and if he has money, then only that amount would be paid to the customers. But if there is any bank in this position with a RBI bank, they can get their money back. They can't close the doors and they can't run away. So RBI is there to ensure there's a smooth running of the banks and assurance to the funds which are deposited into the bank by the customers. So, have you read any story similar to this before? Any of the stories like this? ఎప్పుడైనా కూడా మీరు విన్నారా ఇట్లాంటి స్టోరీస్? Did you heard about these stories before? Anytime? Any of the fraud people?
Satyam.
Punjab National Company.
Punjab National Bank didn't cheated anybody. It didn't cheated. The bank is still running.
Oh.
Satyam, sir.
Satyam is a company which is there doing some different fraud, but I'm talking about any financial institution. It has raised their hands and everything. You talk about any nationalized bank? Any nationalized bank raised its hands, said that I'm unable to do, I can't give you payments and everything? Anytime you heard about it?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Any private bank?
No, sir.
There are few private banks priorly actually which couldn't do it, but now every private bank is been backed by, they need to have some CRRs and everything. So there won't be any issue. But for any NBFCs which are not registered, which are not backed by RBI, they have these issues actually. And you might have heard about small chit fund people who are at your locality and everything, who are doing some chit business. You might have heard about so many stories like this. If you go through newspaper and everything, you'll be hearing about all these cheat cases actually. You go through internet, you see internet, you see news, or you only enjoy TikTok. Girls, only TikTok, or you go through news and everything?
No, sir, nothing like that. We go to the news too.
Priyanka, did you heard about anything recently? Any NBFC which has been like done a fraud? Okay, check for. I'll give. Take a case like this. Go through that case. There is a recent case which has happened actually to the tune of 280 crores or something. There's a fraud which has happened. What is that fraud and everything? Just do a Google search and check and get me back. Okay. Let me know in tomorrow's session what was that case. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
How can such situations be avoided or controlled? If there is any financial institution which has failed to pay your money, that situations can be controlled or that situation can be avoided. That only happens with RBI. So now as a central regulatory authority, we are going to get it. Have you heard about nationalized banks failing to return depositors' money? Have you ever heard about any nationalized banks failed to return the deposit?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Bank running out of funds. If you go to a bank today, sir, I need to withdraw 10,000 rupees. Banker says that no, I don't have funds today. Come tomorrow. Is that any time happened with you or with anybody?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, Central Regulatory Authority, Reserve Bank of India, RBI. RBI is the Central Regulatory Authority. Sets up broad parameters of a banking operations within which the country's banking and financial system functions. Banking operations, they set the parameters, how a bank should work, from whom they need to take deposits, what are the rules and regulations, what are the rules and regulations for withdrawal, what are the rules and regulations for the charges, what are rules and regulations for demand deposits, what are rules and regulations for fixed deposits, what are rules and regulations for recurring deposits. Anything pertaining to banking operations, RBI would keep parameters for that. They'll decide on the interest rates. They'll be deciding on charges. They'll be deciding on not many things which we'll be getting into now. You'll be getting into know in this session. RBI was established on 1st April 1935 and nationalized in the year 1949. It's called Bankers Bank. Do you know that?
Yes, sir.
It's a central banking institution of India. Controls the monetary policy of the country. You know the monetary policy. Anytime you heard about monetary policy?
Yes, sir. Cash flow.
Cash flow. If I get into that, it's a bigger concept actually. It controls the monetary policy like cash flows and everything, the printing of notes, issuance of notes and everything. RBI has all the things with them. it has a control on all that stuff. Regulates and supervises the financial system. It's the only body which regulates and regulates what should happen in that and supervises whether that is going according to the rules and regulations or not. Bankers should abide and amend to the rules and regulations passed by RBI. Then only they will be under RBI. Maintain monetary stability of Indian economy. Ensure proper functioning of financial institutions. Maintain stable payment system so that a financial transaction can safely and efficiently executed. What are financial transactions? Just now we learned what are financial transactions.
Depositing money, withdrawing, demand draft.
See, depositing can happen in the bank and withdrawal can happen in the bank. But now we are doing withdrawals, transfers through our internet banking, mobile banking, and through our plastic money like debit cards and credit cards. Yes, which is through internet. So they want to make it. We want to see that as a stable thing. Actually, now there are hackings happening. There are so much other stuffs which are happening with the accounts. Have you heard about hacking? People hack your account, take it once and
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
real time also it is happening. RBI maintains a stable payment system so the financial transaction can be safely and efficiently executed. It has clearing houses and everything. RBI maintains guidelines for clearing houses, like check clearings from other bank to other bank. Lot of stuffs. Regulates overall volume of money, credit in the economy to ensure price stability. What is price stability? You heard about inflation?
Yes, sir. Rise in prices.
Yes, rise in the prices, or there might be sometime decrease in the prices. If the
Deflation.
money volume is high, the prices would be what?
Low, sir.
If the money volume is down, then
Prices will become high.
yes. So the money flowing in the bank, like money flow in the economy should be there every time. The money should be like rotating. It starts with the bank and goes back to the bank. Banks issues notes and currencies into the market. In the market, companies would take as the loans, they put it into the business, they make products, or they give services, where in turn we take the services, we pay for that, and in turn on the taxes and everything, it get back into the government thing. Yes. So that's a channel where the money flows actually. If the if there is a break in the flow of money, then the inflation raises. The prices would raise up. Then there would be a lot of chaos actually. Now, for example, you can see onion prices. Last time onion was sold like 7 kgs per 100 rupees. Now it has become 1 kg per 100. Yes? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Why? Because there is a demand of the product, but the supply was less. The supply of the onions is less, so the demand has been, so the
Increases.
cost has been increased. So when the supply is constant, then there won't be any problem. But if you have but if anybody has some issues with anybody stops the functioning or anybody stops in between the channel, like cut the money and stop there somewhere, there would be a problem in the economy. Yes, you have seen this problem sometime in 2017, no? Yeah. What was that problem?
Demonetization.
Yes. Did you see how chaotic that was?
Yes, sir.
When the demonetization happened, there is only 100 rupees which was going in the market. The rest of all
That created havoc.
So people were like in a shock, utter shock, what would happen with their money and what would happen with their funds. The more people were troubled were the people who were hoarding the money, black money and everything who were having, they were in a more trouble rather than a common person who doesn't have much money in his pocket, everything was in the bank. Whatever there is in the bank, that was there. But the only problem the common man has faced is that to withdraw the money from the bank, he need to stay in the queue to get hundreds so that he'll do his day-to-day transactions. That was a problem. So when the volume of a money or when the channel has been cut, there would be a chaotic thing. So to regulate all this thing, RBI would be there. Promote the development of financial market and system to enable efficient regulatory mechanisms. It would be promoting and development of financial markets like financial markets like money markets. Then we were talking about capital market, forex, credit markets, and everything. Yes. So it would develop all these markets, and it would be developing economy in turn. That would be good so that our rupee value increases actually. You know the rupee value?
Yes, sir.
Compared to see, whenever the dollar value
US dollar.
increases, if the dollar value increases, then our rupee value falls actually. Now we were just, it was 60, then it is now 72 or 73 today or yesterday, if I'm not wrong. Our rupee value is getting down day by day actually. Because of this COVID situations and everything, there was not that huge flow of money into the market. The businesses were down and everything. So we are getting down. So anytime it is compared to the dollar, we will be looking into our currency. So if our currency value increases, the dollar rate gets decreased actually. So to promote financial markets like forex market, credit market, capital market, everything, the fund flow should be there. Ensure that credit allocation within the financial system reflects the national economic priorities and social concerns. See, you know budget?
Yes, sir.
What this year Nirmala Sitharaman has presented in the February. Every year, government issues budget. Budget is where the allocations of the funds would happen to each and every sector. Yes, like if it is a defense sector, defense would have this much. If it is priority sectors like agriculture, some amount would be fixed. If there is something like industrial sector, this would be there. Tax rates, rebates, tax rates increased. Anything would be there that would be discussed in the budget. Same as that, government funds would be allocated or credit is allocated to different sectors in the economy, like industrial sectors and everything. But they'll be looking into the priorities. Today, the priority would be agriculture. Today, the priority might be industrial sector. Today, there might be a priority for the social concerns like the well-being of the people who are at the below poverty line. They want to increase the per capita of the people. So they want to get into that. So what they'll do, they'll lend the loans to the people who are at a below poverty line by giving them loans to do a small manufacturing unit, like doing a paper plate units, doing a agarbatti unit, or doing a tailoring units or something like that. They lend the loans for them. They'll ask the financial system to look into that kind of a category, or they'll be looking into economic priorities like roads and development. They'll be looking into some products where there would be good profitability for the customers and to the manufacturers also. Every time the priority would be towards agriculture sector, because we need that. It's a need based one. So the priorities would be given to them, then to the industrial sector. So it ensures the credit allocation to that economic priorities and social concern areas actually. So now we learned the importance of RBI as a central governing authority. Yes? Any doubts in this?
No, sir.
So let's, what we learned, we'll be looking into the Reserve Bank as established on the 1st April 1935. After that, Reserve Bank Act in 1934 and nationalized in 1947. RBI is the central banking institution of India. It's a main bank. Can you tell me the bigger bank in other than RBI? Is there any bigger bank other than RBI?
No, sir. No.
No, sir.
In India, RBI is the highest authority. But when it is coming to the world, it is World Bank.
Okay.
So RBI also lends, RBI also takes loan from World Bank to
Yes,
ensure
sir.
our economy could run, because we need a lot of money. If money floating is not there, we'll take loan from World Bank actually. RBI is a regulator and supervisors of Indian financial system. Our Indian financial systems are banks, money markets like SEBI, forex markets and everything, commodities. This all comes under RBI only. RBI sets up the parameters of banking and financial systems. RBI objectives include price stability, ensure adequate flow of credit to various productive sectors of the economy, and achieving financial stability. See, RBI wants to put money into such kind of a units where there would be a return. Yes, if you keep your money into something, there should be some return to it. Your money should not be wasted, and that return would be helpful for each and everyone. So RBI would be focusing on such sectors where the return would be high and in a very less time, shorter time. Now let's get into the functioning of RBI. They learn what is RBI, how is RBI, yes, how did it has come into existence. Now, functions of RBI. Anybody can tell me what are the functions of RBI?
It is a banker's bank and lender of last resort.
Okay. Where do banks get their funds from?
From RBI and public.
Okay. Who decides on the interest rate?
RBI.
Who controls and regulates the country?
From RBI, sir.
Who controls and regulates foreign exchange reserves?
RBI.
Okay, let's get into functions. Major functions of RBI. Currency note issuance. If you see the currency notes, it is signed by the governor of RBI, yes?
Yes, sir.
What are the currency notes which are there in the market?
RBI, sir.
What are the currency notes which are there in the market today?
10, 50, 100, 2000.
Sorry, I didn't get it.
10 rupees, 100 rupees, 2000.
I didn't get it. Could you just repeat it again?
The 10 rupees, 50 rupees note, 20 rupees note.
We are having a 10, 20, 50, 100, 200,
100,
500,
2000.
2000. We are not having 1000 rupee denominations actually.
1000.
So now 2000 denomination is not that much float. RBI stopped that. And now the float is only on 500, 200, 100, 50s, 20 and 10 rupee notes. Bankers to the government. What is bankers to the government?
It gives financial advice to government.
Priyanka, there is some disturbance from your end. Actually. There is some problem with the mic or something.
Commercial bank, RBI.
Sorry? Kaveri, you're saying something?
It gives financial advices to government, sir.
It gives financial advice to the government, but it's a banker to the government. What is banker? I'm sorry?
And also it helps in fundraising.
Government needs a banker actually. Like as an individual, we do deposits, we do withdrawals, yes? The same way, government banks with RBI. Government funds would be there in the RBI. Any government payments to the project would be done by the RBI on government behalf actually. Bankers to bank. It's a banker to bank. Banks go to RBI for funds. Banks go to RBI for loans. So many things. Like a single customer, like an individual customer, same banks would go to RBI. Controller of credit, custodian of forex reserves, whatever the foreign exchange reserves would be there, dollars and everything, that reserves are controlled or kept with RBI. Supervisors of the bank, the functions of the bank and everything are being taken care by RBI. Development of financial system, clearance. What is clearance?
Clearance of funds, like check clearing.
Yes. Clearance is funds clearance, check clearance. Check clearance is like there would be clearing houses which acts as a intermediary between one bank and the other bank. Suppose you have drawn a check on XYZ name and you gave to them that XYZ has an account in some other bank. So to get this clearance from the other bank, this bank would don't run to that bank to get the check. It would send this to a clearing house. This clearing house would get your funds from that bank. So this clearing house acts as a mediator between different banks for doing your check transactions and everything. So let's get into that. Functions of RBI. Currency note issuances. Issues bank currency notes of all denominations and exchange them as and when required. Do you know today you can go with a valid reason to RBI and you can exchange your old currency notes if you have any 500 and 1000 rupee notes with you. But you should give them a valid reason for that. They issue your new notes, whatever the minting. We were talking about the minting, yes? You know minting?
Yes, sir, printing of currency.
You're printing the currency and everything. We were talking in the last session actually. So these currency notes would be minted in all the locations. Like Hyderabad, we have minting press for coins. Then we have in Pune, we have in lot many areas actually. They mint the currency on the advice of RBI. That notes would be issued into the bank. Whatever the soil notes and everything, they'll be taken back. You know soil notes?
No, sir.
Soil notes.
Do not.
We don't say any note which is damaged, cut, torn apart is called a soil note in banking terminology. You know, if there would be some cut on the notes, you know that?
Yes.
నేను తెలుగు చేసే నోటు చిరిగిపోయింది దాని మీద టేప్ వేసి అతికిచ్చారు ఐడియా ఉందా
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
So that sort of
Yes, sir.
notes is called soil notes. You go to a bank, they take it
Okay.
and they in turn send it to RBI. RBI looks into that, they remove that, and the same amount of the currency would be again issued. They put the soil notes back and they issue the fresh notes because they'll be having the count. Today I gave you 100 notes. In these 100 notes, in this market, these 100 notes are playing. In these 100 notes, there are 10 notes which are soiled, which are cut or which are torn. So what you'll do, you take these 10 notes back into that bank and you give it. Sir, 100 notes has been into the market, but out of this, 10 notes are soiled. Only 90 notes are there in the market. Please take these notes and issue fresh 10 notes. So they'll take back these 10 notes and they issue in fresh 10 notes. So that becomes 100 notes. So like that, RBI would decide that if this market should have 100 crores, the 100 crores should be running in the market actually. If there is any problem with the currency, RBI would issue the fresh currency by taking back the soil notes. Banker to the government receives and makes payments on behalf of the government. How government would receive money? How would government receive money? By what ways government?
Tax.
Yes, taxations. There are different taxations like income tax, goods tax, service tax, yes, property tax. What else? How many taxes are there? Anyways, you have a subject, no, taxation in the commerce.
We have direct and indirect income tax, GST,
Hmm. Then.
customs and duty,
Hmm.
and now we don't have VAT, sir, so it comes under GST.
Yes. There are road taxes.
Yeah, road
There are
taxes.
lifetime taxes on the vehicles. Yes, there are
And
luxury taxes.
she says
There are a lot of taxes which are being
education says.
implemented or government has kept on so many things. Yes. So that taxes would be collected and taken by or deposited into bankers bank, that is RBI. What are the payments which are done by the government? What are the payments which are done by the government?
Salaries.
Salaries?
So government issues bonds, so it pays interest on bonds.
Only bonds?
Many.
Can you name any of that?
Tax.
Government payments, whatever it is there, like you talk about projects, like roads and buildings project is going on, R&B project by the government. It gives it to the contractor. After completion of the project, government would pay the amount to the contractor. That payments are being done by RBI. Suppose there is a calamity, like lately in Telangana, there were heavy rains. Yes, there were so many damages. So state government has requested government to send some funds. That funds payment would be done by RBI. Got it? There are so many things which RBI would do on behalf of government on regards to the payments. Advises the government on all the monetary and banking matters. When a finance bill or a finance matter comes, like budget and everything, allocation of funds, because RBI looks into monetary things. So allocation of funds to which sectors, what sector is in need of funds and everything. They all sit together and they all chart down the policies. Bankers to the bank handles the cash reserves of other banks. What do you call cash reserves?
The bank maintains some cash reserves for uncertain situation, sir, with
Yeah.
RBI.
What is it uncertain situation?
Like if the bank is not having enough funds to repay the deposits.
Sorry?
Sir, the bank is not having enough funds to repay the deposits.
Yes. CRR is maintained, or cash reserves. There is a CRR ratio or CRR percentage is maintained by RBI would do a guidelines on that. That this much amount should be there. Like 4% or 5% would be on your total. Like if you are having 100 rupees, it should be like 4 rupees or 5 rupees as your CRR. So that in any future instances, if somebody comes and asks you a demand deposit, or if someone wants to do a withdrawal, you should be in a position to honor that all things. So it keeps that amount with themselves. It takes that amount from a bank and keeps them with the bank actually. So that is a cash reserve ratio. So if any bank, if RBI changes, suppose if any bank has like, they say that the CRR is 4% or 5%. Today, if the bank has less money, they'll go with them. That money market concept would come, short-term loans and everything. Bankers would take money from the other banks which are surplus and deposit with the RBI actually. Suppose if it is 4% on 100 crores. So what is 4% of 100 crores?
4 crores, sir.
4 crores would be that cash reserve. If the bank doesn't have 4 crores as a cash reserve with the bank, because they have lent all the 100 crores, they have only 3.5 crores. For this 50 lakhs, this bank can go for other banks, call money. They can call money from the other banks for a short-term period, and they can put down this 50 lakhs into RBI to show that CRR is intact. So they take a short-term loan from the finance market and they'll place it into CRR. Lends funds facilitate interbank transactions and money transfers. RBI give funds. If banks wants funds from, if somebody has approached a bank needs some funds for their day-to-day rotations and everything. RBI gives them at a nominal rate of interest, and this funds would be given into the market, and that funds which are lent by the banker, they earn interest. In turn, they get that money back. Again, they pay it back to RBI. It is something that మీరు చూసే ఉంటారు. I'll tell you a good example where you take it at a less interest rate and invest into the market and get your returns, and you pay back with the higher rate of interest to them. If you are having a business, suppose you are running a business today, you are starting up a business and you need some funds. So you approach your parents or you approach somebody who gives you funds. So they give you at a nominal rate, like 2%, 3% as an interest on that, and they'll give you at a nominal rate and you take it. And you do a business, you return them money with that 2% interest, but you will be having a profit on that. The same way, bankers would be acting. Bankers would take that funds at a nominal rate and they lend it. They lend it to the bankers. In turn, bankers would lend it in the market. Bankers earn the interest out of that, and they pay the nominal interest and the principal back to the RBI. Facilitate interbank transactions. When the call money is happening from one branch to another, they facilitate that interbank transactions, and clearing houses would be also there. They look into the money transfers. Huge money transfers would be happening. Forex reserves and everything, whatever it is happening between the bankers also, been handled by RBI. Control of credit. Controls the credit operations and banking system. See, RBI would control the credit operations actually. What is credit operations? Anybody can just tell me what is credit operations? Can somebody tell me what is credit operations? Any idea?
No, sir.
So
Hmm.
bank RBI gives credit to agriculture sector. Many, sir.
See, credit operations and banking system. Credit operations are something we call it as lending. A bank would give lendings. Bank would keep some rules and regulations actually. See, suppose now we are earning 10,000 rupees. Can the bank give you 100 crores to you as a loan? Can anybody can get with the 10,000 income can get a 100 crore loan? Did you got my question? మీరు 10,000 సంపాదిస్తున్నారు, మీకు 100 కోట్లు లోన్ ఇవ్వమంటే ఎవరైనా ఇస్తారా?
No, sir.
Nobody would give you.
Yes.
Same way, it controls the credit operations. RBI would keep the guidelines and states that who should get what they need to get through the credit. To a bigger company which has a bigger turnovers and everything, they can give the loans. If a smaller guy approaches the bank, the smaller amount of the loans. So it gives the credit operation guidelines to the bank. Custodian of foreign exchange reserves. Maintains the official rate of exchange. What is the rate of exchange today? Anybody? Any idea? Dollar to rupee?
Sir, it is 74, sir. 73 times.
I'm sorry?
Maybe 73 to 74, sir.
73 to?
74.
Can anybody tell me what is the highest valued currency?
Kuwait dinar, sir.
Kuwait dinar. How much is that? Checking in the Google.
Yes, sir. I got it. 242 rupees.
That's the highest value. But we only follow the dollar value actually because dollar is accepted worldwide. Dollar is a currency which has been accepted worldwide, so we follow that. So exchange rate for the dollars would be like 73 or 74. But the buying rate would be different, the selling rate would be different. If you have a dollar you want to sell, the rate is little down. If you want to buy, the rate would be little high. You know that, no? మీకు తెలుసా అది? మీరు మీ దగ్గర డాలర్ ఉండి మీరు డాలర్ అమ్మాలి అనుకుంటే ఆ డాలర్ వాల్యూ తక్కువగా ఉంటుంది. ఈరోజు 73 ఉంది అనుకోండి, అప్పుడు 70 రూపీసే ఉంటుంది అనమాట. మీరు డాలర్ కొనుక్కోవాలనుకోండి, అప్పుడు డాలర్ 73 ఉంటుంది అనమాట. So that buying and selling exchange rates would be little different. That is maintained by RBI only. Supervisors of the bank issues license as a new bank to supervise the working of scheduled banks. How the bank should work, whom the license should be given, what are the capitals, what is the capital investment by the banks and everything. It is being guidelined and supervised by RBI. Then functions of RBI. Development of financial system. Shapes and implements every major economic policy in the monetary and financial sectors. Whatever the economic policy regarding monetary or financial sector, it would shape and implement into the system actually. Financial sectors, whatever they think or whatever the CEO, we will be talking about SLR, CRRs, then we'll be talking about exchange, currency, commodities. There are a lot of stuffs in the economic thing on a day-to-day basis. So it shapes up, it implements the rules and regulations into that policy actually, and it ensures that policy would be followed properly. Clearance. Clearance is nothing but is the process by which checks and other payments are exchanged between customers of different banks. I've told you, no, if you want to give somebody through a check payment, మీ account లో మీరు చెక్ రాసి వేరే వాళ్ళకి ఇచ్చారు. Suppose you are having a bank, you are having an account with SBI, and you gave your SBI check to someone who has an account with Andhra Bank. So what this Andhra Bank guy would do? Suppose now Priyanka is there. Priyanka got an account with SBI, and she has given a check to Kaveri. She is having an account with Andhra Bank. So what Kaveri would do? Kaveri doesn't go to State Bank to get the money from that account. If it is an account pay check, Kaveri should go to her bank, Andhra Bank, and deposit that check into her account. Then Andhra Bank, what they'll do? Andhra Bank also don't go to SBI to get the check. What they'll do? They'll send it to a clearance house. There is a bank which acts as a clearance house for all the banks in that area. So all the checks would go to that clearance house. From that clearance house, it goes to different banks to get that money. So when the money gets back to the clearance house, that money would be sent back to the respective banks. So the check what Kaveri has deposited in the Andhra Bank go to clearance house. From that clearance house, it goes to Priyanka's SBI. That money would be getting back to the clearance house. From that clearance house, it goes to Andhra Bank. So RBI would look into this process and ensure the clearance of the checks would happen. Okay. RBI acts as intermediary between clearing members and clearing corporations. It acts between clearing member and clearing corporations. Whatever the cheeses would be there. So how many points we learned as a key functions of RBI?
8, sir.
8 points, yes.
Yes.
What are they?
Currency note issuance, bankers to the government, bankers to the bank, controller of credits,
Yeah.
custody of forex reserves, supervisory of bank, development of financial system, clearing.
Okay. Now we learned about the functions of RBI. E-learning for the Reserve Bank of India plays a critical role in regulating and governing the Indian financial system. Next, the sole authority of issuance of notes and its important roles include currency note issuances, banker to government, banker to bankers, controller of credit, custodian of foreign exchange, supervision of banks, development of financial and clearance. Please write down these points. Please write down all these points, okay? Why am I asking you to write down all this? Because in the middle of the sessions, you will be having some tests, online tests regarding this all the stuff. So you should be able to answer this all the questions, okay? And out of your learnings only, you will be having your interviews and everything. So people would be asking you some questions relating to this all the sessions. What do you know about RBI? How RBI would function? What do you know about current account? What do you know about savings accounts? How the bank functions? Who is the customer? Who is the bank? So there will be a lot of questions coming in your interviews also. So better you write down. That would be easy for you people to give the answers in the interview. So everybody has written. Can we get into the other PPT? Shall we move on?
Yes, sir.
Now there we will be getting into commercial banking. What do you mean by commercial?
It is profit oriented, sir. Mainly focuses on profit.
We only deal with funds, we only deal with profit. So we don't deal with anything in return like kind or gifts. Okay. So commercial is only dealing with profit orientation and only with money. There's no point of kind or anything in this. Okay. Objectives: describe the core and other functions of commercial banks. What is a commercial bank? Bank whose principal functions are to receive demand deposits, lend short-term loans, okay. Banks whose principal functions would be receive demand deposits. Why do they require demand deposits? Any bank? Why do banks require demand deposits?
For funds, sir.
For funds, yes. That funds would be lended out in a short-term loan basis. So the bankers would earn good rate of interest out of them. Yes. Commercial banks cater to all the sectors. There is no sector called it only deals with public, it only deals with private, it deals with all the sectors. So commercial banks, anybody can go open a account actually. Anybody can go and operate an account through that. Trends in lending by the commercial banks of India. Earlier to 1990s, commercial banks were lending mainly to traders and industries. In 1990s, when you go back, I think if it is 1990s, I don't think you were, మీరు అప్పుడు కూడా పుట్టి ఉండలేదు అనుకుంటా కదా 1990s.
No, sir.
In 1990s, mainly they were giving loans to only traders and industry people. There were no home loans, there were no auto loans, there were no car loans. There were few car loans and auto loans only to the industry people only, to the owners of the industry people or the people who are doing tradings. But no common individual who is a salaried guy, they were not giving this loans actually. And at that point of a time also, there were no bank account credits also. They were only cash transaction to all the people who were working with government organizations or anything. Salaried people used to get only money through cash, not through any bank actually. So when there is no transaction through the bank were not in a position to give them any loans or anything. Only business people were using these accounts to do their business and everything. At that point of a time, they were not prepared to give it to individuals because they don't know the trend. Will the individuals pay up the amount? They don't have any salary accounts. They don't know the financial transactions properly. So without knowing the financial transactions and anything, they can't give loans. Now, if you go to any bank for applying a loan, what they'll ask as an important document? Any idea? If you go to a bank to apply for a loan, what are the documents do bank ask for you?
Property.
తాకట్టు పెట్టడానికి ప్రాపర్టీ అడుగుతారంటారు కదా, అది కాదు. దానికన్నా ముందు ఇంకో మెయిన్ డాక్యుమెంట్ ఉంటుంది. ప్రాపర్టీ ఉన్నా కూడా If you have property with you and if you don't have a banking transactions or if you don't have a bank account also, they don't give you loan. They'll ask you for a 6 months banking or they'll ask you for 3 months banking. Any individual who wants to go apply for any loan, they would ask you that if you have a bank account or not. If you don't have a bank account, they don't give you a loan. Because by the bank account only we'll be understanding what is your banking transactions. Then only you're able to pay their EMIs properly. If you go for any loan, you need to pay EMIs, equated monthly installments. So if you're not in a position to pay an EMI, will the bank would give you loans? They won't give you any loan if you are not in a position to pay anything. Okay. Then economic reforms in late 90s brought a change in the banking scenario. In 1990, there were a lot of changes, lot of things were coming into the picture. There were a lot of entities were being allowed. And in 1990s only, there is a liberalization of banks. Yes. When we get into the session, the first session we were talking about development of the banks from 1786, 1969, 1969 till 1990, there was nationalization of banks. And from 1990 and 91, there was liberalization of banks. Yes. We were talking about this in the previous session. When we are talking about the stages of banking, we were looking into all these things. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So when we were giving liberalization, they were all other bank people, like private banks have started coming into the business actually. At the point of time, there were only government banks, only nationalized banks, only government banks were operating. But from 1990 and 91, there were private banks who can apply for license from the bank, from RBI, and they can start up the banks. So the game has changed from that time. And economic reforms has also changed. Liberalization has also happened. Then the game has changed. So from that time, the commercial banks come into the picture. Functions of commercial banks. Functions of commercial banks. Functions of commercial banks are accepting deposits, primary functions, and granting the loans and advances. That's the primary functions. By this only, commercial banks would earn interest. Secondary functions.
Sir, it also sells third-party products.
You'll be coming into that in next session actually. When they'll sell the third party projects are done by retail banking or commercial banks, you need to look into that. Okay. When you talk about third party products, the insurance and everything you're talking about.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You'll be coming into the other session, then you'll be knowing it. Okay. But the primary functions, it is not mandate, no? Priyanka.
Yes, sir.
It is not
Yes,
a
sir.
mandate. It's not
No,
a
it is not
primary function.
mandate through which it even earns profit, no, sir. That.
It earns, but major profit is only by deposits and loans actually.
Yeah, true.
So that's why it is called core and primary functions.
Yeah,
Then
I was talking about other functions. Maybe it gets included like that.
the secondary functions, all other activities. Your third party insurance, your issuance of DDs, your issuance of bankers checks, then credit cards, then all the other stuff would be coming into the secondary functions. Categorizations and categorization of functions of commercial banks. Primary functions, accepting deposits, granting loans. There's a common thing. Giving advances. Secondary functions, issuing letter of credits, traveler checks, providing safe deposit vault lockers, vaults or lockers. We have learned in the first session that there are lockers which bankers would give. What would banker earn out of these lockers?
Rent.
Just a rent. Somebody has asked something, sir, if we keep our money in the locker, will bankers pay us the rent? interest? No. Last session or somebody in other session, somebody asked me this question actually. If bank would pay any interest on our money which we kept in the locker? No. We don't keep money mostly in the lockers actually. We keep our valuable items like gold, jewelry, diamonds or anything. Then we keep our documents, education certificates or anything which need to be safely kept in the lockers. For that, bankers doesn't pay any interest. Bankers only take rent from us. Facilitates of foreign exchange. Commercial banks has a wing called foreign exchange. You go to a bank by giving your notes, foreign currency. If you have dollars, 10 rupee, you have $10 in your hand. You go to a bank, you ask for an exchange. They do an exchange there by taking down. When you're selling your dollars, there would be like today, if it is 73 rupees, they take it at 70. So $10 is like 700 rupees. The bankers would give you 700 rupees. If you go to bank and if you ask for $10 or you want some $100, you are traveling to other country, so bankers would issue at today's currency rate, like they charge 7,300 or 7,400, they give you $100. That's how they do a transaction, foreign exchange transaction. Transferring money from one place to another. You want to transfer the money from one account to other account, that is also done. Transferring money from one bank to the other bank by doing RTGS or anything or NEFT, that is also done. RTGS and NEFT will be coming in with all these definitions and everything in the other session. So we'll discuss that in the other session. Stands as a guarantee on behalf of its customers. What do you understand by this? Stands as a guarantee on behalf of its customers. Any idea? Anytime you heard about a bank guarantee, you heard about in bank guarantee in your commerce session.
Yes, sir.
What is bank guarantee?
If the trader, if there's a transaction between a trader and a customer, so the bank gives guarantee to the trader that customer will pay the money.
Yes. Will the bank stand guarantee for each and every individual?
No, sir.
It stands as a guarantee for the accounts which are like we talk about current accounts, we talk about business people who are having accounts with them. For such kind of a customer, banks only stands as a bank guarantee because they will be seeing the transactions and everything, and bank guarantee would be given for certain period. And for such kind of a bank guarantee, there are charges also. It gives a bank guarantee to the trader stating that this customer is with us since last 5-6 years. Their credit worthiness is good. So they're going to honor your payment. This is a bank guarantee issued on his behalf to you. You can do a business with him on a credit basis and you can collect your credit amount after 60 days or 30 days. That's how the bank guarantee would work. Got the point? అర్థమైంది అందరికీ బ్యాంక్ గ్యారంటీ అంటే ఏంటో? You want me to explain that in Telugu?
Yes, sir.
You want me to explain that in Telugu?
Yes, sir.
బ్యాంక్ గ్యారంటీ ఏంటంటమ్మా, బ్యాంక్ ఒక కస్టమర్ అంటే ప్రతి ఒక్క కస్టమర్ కాదు. బ్యాంక్ కొందరు కొన్ని సంవత్సరాల నుంచి బ్యాంకింగ్ చేస్తూ ఉంటారు, పెద్ద పెద్ద కార్పొరేట్స్ లేదా కొన్ని బిజినెస్ చేసే వాళ్ళు వాళ్ళతో ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ చేస్తూ ఉంటారు అనమాట. వాళ్ళు వెళ్ళి ఎవరితోనైనా కొత్తగా బిజినెస్ స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి అంటే వాళ్ళందరూ ఏం చేస్తారంటే బిజినెస్ స్టార్ట్ చేసేటప్పుడు డబ్బులు అడుగుతారు అనమాట. డబ్బులు పే చేస్తేనే మేము మీతో బిజినెస్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాం లేదా మా ప్రోడక్ట్ ఇస్తామంటారు అనమాట. సో వీళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తారంటే బ్యాంక్ దగ్గరకు వచ్చి బ్యాంక్ వాళ్ళతో మాట్లాడుకొని ఒక బ్యాంక్ గ్యారంటీ అనేది ఎదురుగా ఉన్న పార్టీకి ఇస్తారనమాట. బ్యాంక్ గ్యారంటీ ఏమని ఇస్తుందంటే, ఈ కస్టమర్ మాతో బ్యాంకింగ్ చేస్తున్నారు, గత కొన్ని సంవత్సరాలుగా మాతో పాటు ట్రాన్సాక్షన్స్ బాగానే ఉన్నాయి, వీళ్ళ చెక్ బౌన్స్ ఎక్కడా లేదు, వీళ్ళు మీరు అనుకున్న టైంలో డబ్బులు కడతారు, దానికి నేను గ్యారంటీ ఇస్తున్నాను అని బ్యాంక్ ఒక గ్యారంటీ లెటర్ ఆ ట్రేడర్కి ఇస్తుంది అనమాట, ముందున్న బిజినెస్ మ్యాన్. సో ఆ లెటర్ తీసుకొని ముందున్న అతను ప్రోడక్ట్స్ అయినా లేకపోతే ఏమైనా మెషినరీ ఏమైనా ఉందో వాళ్ళకి పంపిస్తారు. 60 days తర్వాత కస్టమర్ లేదా 30 days తర్వాత కస్టమర్ ఆ బ్యాంక్ గ్యారంటీతో పాటు వచ్చి ట్రేడర్ ఈ బ్యాంక్ దగ్గరకు వస్తే బ్యాంక్ ఆ చెక్ని హానర్ చేసి క్లియర్ చేసేస్తుంది అనమాట. ఓకే, అండ్ ఇట్ వుడ్ చార్జ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్, ఇట్ వుడ్ చార్జ్ సమ్ చార్జెస్ ఫర్ దిస్ బ్యాంక్ గ్యారంటీ. అది సెకండరీ ఫంక్షన్ ఆఫ్ ఎ బ్యాంకర్ థింగ్ అనమాట. బ్యాంక్ గ్యారంటీ ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి ఇవ్వరు. సార్ నేను నా బ్యాంక్ అకౌంట్ ఉంది సార్ ఆంధ్ర బ్యాంక్లో, నేను 1000 రూపాయలు మెయింటైన్ చేస్తున్నా సార్, నాకు వెళ్ళి బ్యాంకు నా గ్యారంటీ ఇస్తుందంటే ఇస్తుందా సార్ అంటే మీకు ఇవ్వదు. బ్యాంక్ గ్యారంటీ ఇచ్చే వాళ్ళది చాలా హై నెట్వర్త్ ఉండాలన్నమాట. వాళ్ళ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్స్ లక్షలలో కోట్లలో జరుగుతూ ఉంటుంది, వాళ్ళకి బ్యాంక్ గ్యారంటీ ఇస్తుంది అనమాట. ఎందుకంటే బ్యాంకు అలాంటి వాళ్ళ గ్యారంటీ ఇస్తేనే చెక్స్ క్లియర్ అవుతాయి. చిన్న వాటికి ఇస్తే బ్యాంక్ గ్యారంటీలో అది క్లియర్ అవుతుంది. అర్థమైన అందరికీ?
Okay, sir.
Anybody who is unable to understand in English, you can raise your hand. I will explain them in Telugu. Not to worry, okay? మీకు ఏదైతే అర్థం కాలేదో మీరు తెలుగులో కావాలి అంటే మీరు హ్యాండ్ రేస్ చేయండి, నేను మీకు అదే తెలుగులో చెప్తాను, ఓకేనా? If you want me to explain in Hindi also, I can do that in Hindi. Not to worry. मैं हिंदी में भी आप लोगों को एक्सप्लेन कर सकता हूँ. जिनको हिंदी आती है और तेलुगु ठीक से नहीं समझ में आती है और इंग्लिश ठीक से समझ में नहीं आती हो तो भी मैं हिंदी में एक्सप्लेन करूंगा उन लोगों को. So I am good in these 3 languages. You can come, raise your hand, ask me to explain in any of the language, and I'm going to explain it. But don't say yes sir for everything which you don't understand also. Okay?
Okay.
Everyone.
Okay.
Issues demand drafts and pay orders. They issue DDs and pay orders. DD, you are going to any college need something, DD would be issued, yes? You pay, if you need to pay some college examination fees to the board, you'll take DDs, no? తీసుకుంటారు కదా సప్లిమెంటరీ ఎగ్జామ్స్ కట్టడానికి, దీనికి దానికి ఫీజెస్ కట్టాలంటే DD కడతారు కదా.
Yes, sir.
Anytime you taken a DD? So it issues its DD and everything and pay orders. Primary and secondary functions of commercial banks again. Primary functions and secondary functions. These are the key activities of the bank. Whatever we learned in the primary section earlier slide, they are talking. These are the key activities of the bank. These are the main source of income. Deposits and lending are the main source of income. And these are mandatory functions of the bank. Nobody can say that I won't do this activity. If you open a bank and you are registered, you have got a license from RBI, you need to do these primary functions at any cost. You need to lend the loans. You need to accept the demand deposits. You should not say that I won't accept. You should not say that I won't lend the loan. Banks can't say that I only take deposit, I don't give you loans. If the person is credit worthy, if he is eligible for a loan, banks should mandatorily give them loan. That's the primary function. Secondary functions are not the main source of income. Banks can sometimes say that I don't give you DD. Banks sometimes can say that I can't give you a bank guarantee. Banks sometimes can say that I don't do a foreign exchange. That is not a main function of a bank actually. So they can, that's not an obligatory function. Obligation ఉండదు ఆ పని చేయడానికి అనమాట. బ్యాంక్స్ ఎప్పుడైనా కూడా సెకండరీ ఫంక్షన్ని డినై చేయొచ్చు. మీరు బ్యాంక్కి వెళ్ళి సార్ నాకు డీడీ కావాలంటే, లేదమ్మా ఈరోజు మెషిన్ పని చేయట్లేదు రేపు రండి అని చెప్పేయచ్చు. ఈరోజు మేము డీడీ ఇష్యూ చేయట్లేదు, మేము డీడీ అందరికీ ఇవ్వట్లేదు, అకౌంట్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి ఇస్తాము అని బ్యాంక్స్ కెన్ డినై ఇట్. బట్ బ్యాంక్స్ కెనాట్ డినై దట్ ఐ కాంట్ టేక్ డిపాజిట్. If you are having an account, you say that, sir, I'm going to deposit some money into account. No, don't deposit today, come tomorrow. Bank can't say that. If you go to a bank and say that I want to withdraw some money, so if bank can't say that, no, I can't give you money. You come after 1 week, then only I can give you money. No, they don't say this to anybody. That primary functions are very much obligatory functions. They need to do it. So, అర్థమైందా?
Okay, sir.
Sir, what is DD and why we need it?
DD is a demand draft. Now you can't pay a check. Check takes some clearance time. To any of the organizations or any of the parties which are there outside, they can't accept cash. They can accept something which is equivalent to cash. Check, it takes time, so they don't take checks. Demand draft is equivalent to cash. You take a draft, you make it as a demand draft on demand. By showing this draft, you will be getting your money into your account. It's paid
Okay, sir.
by that instrument. So it is equivalent to cash. So you deposit cash, DD charges would be there, demand draft would be given to you will be drawing it on some XYZ party. When XYZ party shows this to the banker would directly credit that amount into their account. It doesn't wait for clearance, or it doesn't wait for anything like check. Okay. So it is equivalent to the cash. Any parties who doesn't accept cash would accept demand draft. So cash, you can't have a track of anybody. Cash can be given by anybody. You can't have a track. But 10 మంది cash deposit చేశారు అనుకోండి account లో, you don't have a track of that. But if somebody, 10 people have paid a demand draft, there would be a track of each and every demand draft. We can't do activity because we are online. Classification of banking operations. We will be classifying banking operations, how the banking operations are divided into. Any idea how banking operations are divided? We know the functions of commercial banks. Anybody can tell me what are the operations of a bank, the banking operations? How they are classified? Anybody? Banking operations mainly divided into 3 sectors. One is wholesale banking, one is retail banking, one is international banking. Wholesale banking, we were talking about this wholesale banking in the first session, which deals with corporate, government bodies and industries. Wholesale bankings are like bigger banks. If somebody has like a company which has 100 employees, a company which has a bigger turnover, so they do a wholesale banking. Wholesale banking, company would have salary accounts, company would have a lot of current accounts and everything. So that is taken care by wholesale banking. Retail banking is only for individuals like us who has only one account, and we do a little transactions. International banking is a banking where imports and export services would be done in that international banking. They deal with forex, foreign currency and everything. Rupee to dollar, dollar to rupee. This transactions would happen in international banking. So there are 3 bankings, that is wholesale banking, international banking and retail banking. We will be more concentrating on retail banking because it deals with day-to-day operations of individuals. Okay. So what we learned out of this session? We learned that functions of a commercial bank, which are divided into mainly 2 categories. One is primary and one is secondary. What are primary? Primaries are accepting deposits and granting loans and advances. What are other activities? You know other activities, what are they? So this is how it is. So you have any, now you got an idea about commercial banks. మీ అందరికి అర్థమైందా commercial banks ఎట్లా ఆపరేట్ చేస్తాయో?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now you are clear. Any doubts? Any doubts? Anybody, please text me. You can send a text on the chat, or if you have any doubts, you can raise your hand and ask me. Any doubt you can ask me. Not to worry. I'll explain you, but don't take these doubts and make that as a problem. If you have small doubt, anything you think that array question adute baundademo, don't hesitate. Just ask me the question. If that is not relevant to the subject also, I'll give you. If you have some doubts regarding the bank. I hope you don't have any doubts. But when we go through an assessment, then you should clear that assessment properly. Okay. మీకు ఎప్పుడైనా ఎగ్జామ్ ఉంటే ఎగ్జామ్ మంచిగా ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యి మంచి రాయండి. అయితే ఈ డౌట్స్ క్లియర్ అన్నారంటే మీకు అన్ని అర్థమైంది. అసెస్మెంట్లో ప్రాపర్గా ప్రిపేర్ చేస్తారని నాకు అర్థమవుతుంది. ఓకేనా?
ఓకే.
Then we'll be getting into the other session, other one. Now we'll be getting into retail banking. ఇందాక మనము కమర్షియల్ బ్యాంక్స్ లో 3 categories గా వాటి ఆపరేషన్స్ డివైడ్ అయింది. In the last slide we were discussing about the operations, how they got divided. Yes? Yes?
Yes, sir.
So now we will be getting into our major thing now, retail banking. Retail banking deals majorly with individuals. Okay? So let's get into retail banking. So in this session, we'll be understanding how retail banking operations would happen, what sort of retail banking is there, how they accept deposits, what sort of loans they give. Okay? What is retail banking? Retail banking is a banking which caters to multiple banking requirements of an individuals. What are the multiple requirements of an individual? Any idea about requirements of an individual? Any idea about individuals? What are our individual requirements? ఒక బ్యాంక్ తో ఒక మనిషికి ఏం రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి మన బ్యాంకింగ్ లో?
Withdraw deposit.
సారీ మా?
Transactions, sir.
Transaction. What transactions?
Like withdraw deposit money.
రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ ఏమున్నాయి? What are the requirements? Only transaction withdrawal is there? You go to bank only for that or anything else?
For loans also, sir.
Loans. What, any idea about any loans what banks would give you?
Agriculture loans, education loans.
Next. Only 2 loans?
Home loan.
Home loans, yeah. Chalo, we'll get into that now. Services offered by a retail banks. Transactional accounts, savings accounts, loans, credit and debit cards, and lockers. What are transactional accounts? What is the difference between transactional accounts and savings account? So first time into nam pair antara. So what is savings account? Anybody, just share your thought. Share your thought. There is no issue that if you share me a wrong thought also, I'm okay with that. But share your thought.
జనరల్ గా మనం బ్యాంక్ లో మనీ విత్డ్రాల్ డిపాజిట్ చేసుకునేది సేవింగ్స్.
Sorry?
జనరల్లీ మనం అంటే బ్యాంక్ లో మనీ డిపాజిట్ కానీ విత్డ్రాల్ అంటే జస్ట్ చేసుకునే దాన్ని సేవింగ్స్ అకౌంట్.
Savings account is nothing but you keep your surplus into that account. That's called that savings account. That savings account has an interest on that. Whatever you keep that amount into that savings is called a savings account that has an interest on that. Transactional accounts are the accounts which have lot of transactions. That's called current accounts. That current accounts are given to traders, business people, entrepreneurs actually. They doesn't have any interest on that. There will be a lot of transactions, there will be a lot of deposits, there will be a lot of withdrawals in a day. But savings accounts, you do it like in a month, you do 3 or 4 transactions, you do some withdrawals, that's your savings account. In savings account, funds would be there. But for a transactional accounts, that funds would be like fluctuating. You can't say that by the end of the day, you have 10,000 rupees in that account. You can't say it. Anytime you can remove the money, or anytime you can, that amount can be increased. Then loans are what we were talking about, like car loans, home loans, business loans, and anything. Credit and debit cards. People who are having transactional accounts or savings account, they have been issued with debit cards. Debit cards are used for shopping. Debit cards are used for purchases. Debit cards are used for withdrawing money from the ATMs and everything. Credit cards are the cards which are given for a short-term credit period. Actually, they are like a credit to you all people.
Limit they have
limit would be given to you on the credit basis. The credit period is only for 40 days or 45 days. You need to repay that entire amount in that
40 days.
Then lockers are the vaults which are in the bank where you keep your valuables into that. These are the major services operated by retail banks. Key learnings will be retail banking is a banking which caters to the multiple banking requirements of the individuals. Now we'll be talking about retail bank loans. What are that loans which banks would give? ఏమేమి loans మనం ఇందా మాట్లాడుకుంటుండే కదా? What are that loans? Tell me, somebody said home loans that time. We accepted it. Then, no problem. You can on your mic and you can speak. Home loans, then?
Property loans.
Sorry? Tell me, I didn't get it. Last year, మాట్లాడారు నాకు వినిపించలేదు. Tejaswin, you said something?
Yes, sir. Property loan.
Okay, property loan, housing loan and property loan are same. Anything other than that?
Educational loan.
Educational loans, okay, good. Next?
Gold loan.
Mortgage loan.
Mortgage loan. Mortgage, home loans are same. Next?
Gold loan.
Already said. Next?
Vehicles.
Vehicle loan.
Business loan.
Business loans, good. Next?
Personal loan.
Yes, personal loans. Retail bank gives this types of loans. First, housing loans. Next, car loans. What you said is vehicle loans. Next, personal loans. Then, education loans. Majorly. In housing loans, what sort of loans bankers would give? Housing loans are again categorized into few other loans. Actually, there is a subcategory for housing loans also. So we'll see what is the subcategories. Write down. You'll be having some questions out of this also. Okay. Banks offer financial assistance to buy property. This loan should be repaid within a specific time frame. that time frame would be like any property loan or anything. The time frame is a longer time frame, like 20 years or 25 years. Sometimes can max go up to 30 years also. So types of interest rates. There are, you pay interest, yes? If you take any loan, you need to pay interest on that loan. So if you talk about any common money lender, the difference between a common money lender and the bank is here. The interest rate would be less compared to other common money lenders or common other things. Then banks would charge a EMI which consists of principal and interest. But when you take it from outside person, they only charge interest, and after some time, after the end of the period, you need to pay entire principal amount to them.
Principal amount.
But here, when there is a fixed rate of interest, that EMI would consist of principal and interest in that. Okay, that's like this. Allows to repayment of the loan in a fixed monthly installment, which is called EMI. EMI is nothing but equated monthly installment, which consists of principal and interest. Then the other one is like floating interest rate. Floating interest rate is the interest rate which are tied on the basis rate plus a floating element. We all know, do you have any idea about floating rate? Sir, వినలేదు సార్ ఎప్పుడు కూడా ఫ్లోటింగ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ రేట్ అని అనుకోవచ్చు. ప్రియాంక, ఎనీ టైమ్ యూ హర్డ్ అబౌట్ ఫ్లోటింగ్ రేట్? Is Priyanka online? Anybody?
వినలేదు సార్.
ఫ్లోటింగ్ రేట్ గురించి ఎప్పుడు వినలేదు కదా?
నో సార్.
Floating rate is a rate which has a base rate. Base rate can be like 2% or 3% or 4%. Floating rate depends on the market fluctuation. If the market has money, the floating rate would get down. Floating rate is like a fixed percentage of 3 or 4% plus a floating percentage of 3 or 4% on that. 4% fixed ఉంటుంది బేస్ రేట్గా, ఇంకో 4% ఫ్లోటింగ్ రేట్లో ఉంటుంది. అదేంటంటే మార్కెట్ ఫ్లక్చువేట్ అయినప్పుడు ఆ రేట్ 4% నుంచి పైకైనా వెళ్ళొచ్చు, కిందకైనా రావచ్చు. ఇఫ్ దెర్ ఇస్ అ ఫండ్ ఫ్లో ఇన్ ద మార్కెట్ ప్రాపర్టీ గుడ్, the rate might come from 4% to 3.5 or 3.4. If the market rate, the fund flow is less, then it might go up to 5.5 or 5.6. That is called floating. Majorly floating rate would be given in some car loans, some major home loans actually. So every month installment would be dependent on the floating rate actually. So bankers would, what they do, they fix up your installment, EMI would be fixed up in the floating rate. You need to pay the amount. If there is any change in the floating rate, there would be a change in your tenure, not in the EMI. మీ ఈఎంఐలో చేంజ్ ఉండదు అనమాట, మీ టెన్యూర్లో చేంజ్ వస్తుంది. ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ మీరు ఒక లోన్ తీసుకున్నారు 10,000, ఆ 10,000ని 18 నెలల లోపల 800 చొప్పున కట్టాలి అని చెప్పేసి బ్యాంక్ చెప్తుంది అనమాట. ఓకే, సో దట్ ఈస్ ఫిక్స్డ్ రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్లో అలా నడుస్తుంది అనమాట. కానీ ఫ్లోటింగ్ రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్లో ఏమైనా ఉంటుందంటే, ఈ 10,000 మీరు ఏదైతే తీసుకుంటారో ఫ్లోటింగ్ రేట్ మీరు తీసుకున్నప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే ఈఎంఐ ఇంతే ఉంటుంది. ఈఎంఐ మీకు వచ్చేది 700 రూపాయలే ఉండొచ్చు. కానీ మీకు ఒకసారి మార్కెట్ పెరిగింది అనుకోండి, మీ టెన్యూర్ 18 నెలల నుంచి 19 నెలలు అవ్వచ్చు, ఎందుకంటే ఇంట్రెస్ట్ పెరిగింది కాబట్టి. అక్కడ ఒకసారి మార్కెట్లో ఫండ్స్ బాగా వచ్చి మీ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ రేట్ తగ్గింది అనుకోండి, మీది 18 నెలల నుంచి 15 నెలలైనా అవ్వచ్చు అనమాట. సో దాన్ని ఫ్లోటింగ్ రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అంటాం అనమాట. నెక్స్ట్ we have mixed rate of interest. Mixed rate of interest is mix of fixed rate and a floating rate. You can opt for both. మీరు ఏదైనా లోన్ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు నాకు ఫిక్స్డ్ రేట్ కూడా కావాలి, కొన్ని నెలలకి నాకు ఫ్లోటింగ్ రేట్ కూడా కావాలి అని చెప్పి మీరు తీసుకోవచ్చు అనమాట. యూ కెన్ ఆప్ట్ ఫర్ దిస్ బై టెల్లింగ్ దట్ ఐ నీడ్ బోత్ ద ఇంట్రెస్ట్ రేట్స్. ఓకే, యూ గాట్ ది explanation for this. Now you know what is floating and what is fixed.
సార్ మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి చెప్పరా?
ఏది ఫ్లోటింగ్ రేట్ గురించి చెప్పాలా?
ఫ్లోటింగ్.
ఫ్లోటింగ్ రేట్ ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఫస్ట్ చెప్తాను. ఫిక్స్డ్ అంటే మీకు రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఇప్పుడు 10% 9% పర్ యానం అని ఒక ఫిక్స్డ్ రేట్ ఉంటుంది అనమాట. ఫిక్స్డ్ ఇన్స్టాల్మెంట్స్లో మీరు ఇప్పుడు ఏదైనా లోన్ తీసుకున్నారు, కార్ లోన్ తీసుకున్నారు, ₹1,00,000 తీసుకున్నారు, దానికి రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ 9% పర్ యానం అని పెడతారనమాట. అది ఫిక్స్. ఫ్లోటింగ్ రేట్లో ఏముంటుందంటే ఒక బేసిస్ పాయింట్ పెడతారనమాట. 4% దానిలో బేస్ పాయింట్ ఉంటుంది. ప్లస్ ఫ్లోటింగ్ రేట్ ఈ రోజు ఉన్న రేట్లో మార్కెట్ ఇట్లా నడుస్తుంది కాబట్టి, మార్కెట్ పైన కింద ఉంది కాబట్టి ఇంకో 5% ఈస్ ఫ్లోటింగ్ రేట్ అంటారు. అంటే మొత్తం కలిపి అక్కడ 9% వచ్చింది. కానీ మార్కెట్లో ఫండ్స్ మూవ్మెంట్ తక్కువైంది. ఏమవుతుంది అంటే ఈ రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ దాన్ని సెట్ చేయడానికి 5% నుంచి 6% అవ్వచ్చు. ఇఫ్ రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఇఫ్ మార్కెట్లో ఫండ్స్ బాగా వచ్చింది, మార్కెట్లో ఫండ్స్ బాగా వచ్చాయి, మీకు ప్రాబ్లం లేదనుకుంటే ఈ రేట్ ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో 5% నుంచి ఒక్కొక్కసారి 4.5 కూడా వచ్చింది. అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే మీ ఈఎంఐలో ఎప్పుడు బ్యాంక్ చేంజ్ చేయదు. మీకు ఇప్పుడు ప్రతిసారి మీకు ఫోన్ చేసి సార్ మీకు ఫ్లోటింగ్ రేట్ మీ ఈఎంఐ చేంజ్ అయింది, ఈసారి 800 కాదు సార్ 700 కట్టండి, ఈసారి 900 కట్టండి, అట్లా ఉండదన్నమాట. బ్యాంక్ వాళ్ళు చెప్పిన ఈఎంఐనే తీసుకుంటా ఉంటారు. అది ఇంట్రెస్ట్ తగ్గింది అనుకోండి, మీ 18 నెలలు కట్టాల్సింది 17 నెలలు అవుతుంది. అక్కడ తక్కువ అవుతుంది అనమాట. ఒక నెల ఈఎంఐ కట్టక్కర్లేదు, ఎందుకంటే ఇంట్రెస్ట్ తగ్గింది కాబట్టి. ఇంట్రెస్ట్ పెరిగింది అనుకోండి, ఒక నెల ఎక్కువ కట్టాల్సి వస్తుంది. ఒక నెలలో 2 నెలలు, అది 18 నెలల నుంచి 19 నెలలైనా అవ్వచ్చు, 20 నెలలైనా అవ్వచ్చు అనమాట. సో అర్థమైందా ఇప్పుడు? Got the point? అర్థమైందా?
Yes.
So no doubts? Everybody got the point?
Okay, sir.
There is something called a mixed rate of interest. Mixed rate of interest involves both fixed and floating type, each existing for a certain period of a time in a loan tenure. You can opt for that if you're taking for like 36 months of a tenure. మీరు 36 months ఒక లోన్ రీపే చేద్దాం అనుకున్నారు, దానిలో 18 months you can go with fixed rate of interest, another 18 months you can go for a floating rate of interest. It depends on banker and it depends on the customer, but majorly banks only follow these two, fixed rate and a floating rate. For certain loans only there is a floating rate, but for every loan it is fixed rate of interest, because there won't be any confusion to the customer nor to the banker also. Okay, now housing loan types. Why do we take loans? Home loans would be taken for this type of loans actually. For purchase of a home, ఏదైనా కొత్త ఇల్లు కొనుక్కోవాలంటే we'll take a loan. For improvement of an existing home, we want to do some interiors or anything, you will take a loan. In a land you want to construct a house, you will take a loan. You want to extend your house, now you have a 3 bedroom one, you have a ground floor, you need to do another first floor, for that extension also you can take loan. Home loans for NRS, people who are not living in India but they are non-resident Indians, they'll have a home loan opportunity here. You want to buy a land also, you can take a loan. So housing loans are divided into these categories.
Okay.
You're seeing it? Home
Yes.
loan, home purchase, home improvement, construction
Home
of
construction, home extension,
loans for
home loans to NRIs, land purchase.
land purchase. If there is any land purchase, you want to buy a land, you can take a loan. Okay. Car loans. What are car loans? Any loan which we want to buy a car is called a car loan. Okay. Again, car loans are divided into some categories. What are that categories?
Loans.
If you want to buy a new car from the showroom, they'll give you loans. Yes. మీరు వెళ్తారు షోరూమ్ కి కొత్తగా. ఎనీబడి హ్యావ్ కార్? మీలో ఎవరికైనా కార్స్ ఉన్నాయా?
No, sir.
కార్ ఉండదు కదా?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Anybody has a two-wheeler?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Want to buy, you go to a showroom. Yes. TVS showroom, Hero Honda showroom ko వెళ్ళి మీరు టూ వీలర్ కొనుక్కుంటారు. So when you buy a two-wheeler from any of this showroom, you go to that showroom, you buy a new vehicle. So for that vehicle also, you will have loans. Next, used car. Second hand cars untaya?
Yes.
దానికి కూడా మనం లోన్స్ ఇస్తాం అన్నమాట. Used car loans,
Oh.
second hand car loans will be given. Loans on the used cars. Then next, refinance. What do you call refinance? Refinance అంటే ఏంటి? Anybody can give me an explanation for refinance?
Any damages?
No. Try. Any damages, insurance is there. What is refinance? Any idea? A terminology means తెలుస్తుంది కదా?
అంటే ఏదైనా పార్ట్ ఓల్డ్ అయిపోతుంది,
No.
న్యూగా
రీప్లేసింగ్.
తక్కువ ఇంట్రెస్ట్
ఇంట్రెస్ట్ తక్కువ. రీఫైనాన్స్ కొంచెం ఇంట్రెస్ట్ తక్కువగా ఉంటుంది. బట్ వాట్ ఇస్ రీఫైనాన్స్? ఇప్పుడు కార్ లోన్స్ లో యూ బై ఎ న్యూ కార్ యూ విల్ గెట్ లోన్. యూ బై ఎ సెకండ్ హ్యాండ్ కార్ యూ ఆర్ గెటింగ్ ఎ లోన్. వాట్ ఈస్ రీఫైనాన్సింగ్? ఇట్స్ సార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఎ లోన్ ఓన్లీ. No idea?
అంటే ఫస్ట్ పేయింగ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ చేంజ్ చేసి వేరే న్యూగా మళ్ళీ.
No, beta. I'll tell you. In this, you buy a new car, you taken a loan, and you have cleared that loan. Suppose today you bought a car, you have taken a loan for 3 years, you repaid that 3 years. Again, you want to take a loan on the same car. It is refinance.
అచ్చా.
Taking again finance, refinance.
ఓకే ఓకే.
Financing your vehicle again is called a refinance. On the same. Okay. Next is
Okay.
two-wheeler loans. Two-wheeler loans are the loans which are being given on two-wheelers.
Two-wheelers.
No second hand or no used two-wheeler loans or no refinance on two-wheeler. Bank doesn't do a refinance on two-wheeler, nor bank would give loans on used two-wheelers.
Okay.
They are, if anybody is giving two-wheeler refinance or if anybody is giving used refinance, that is only given by private parties. How many people are staying in Hyderabad? ఎందరు హైదరాబాద్ లో ఉంటున్నారు? You all people stay in Hyderabad? Yeah, Jagdishwari.
I am.
You are staying in Hyderabad, yes. Jagdishwari, have you been to Ramkot or King Koti? Idea on
King Koti.
Here they sell bikes, two-wheeler second-hand bikes అమ్ముతారు అన్నమాట. అక్కడ రీఫైనాన్స్ వాటి జరుగుతుంది. They are only given by private people, not by any bank. Okay.
Okay.
Refinance is only given by private, not
Private people.
Any bank. No nationalized bank or no scheduled bank or anything. They give you refinance on two-wheeler. Okay.
Okay.
Types of car loans. So we'll be learning about this. Loans for new car given for the purchase of a new car for a period of 5 to 7 years. Given for the purchase of a new car for a period of 5 to 7 years. Next, used car loans given to purchase a second-hand car for an amount up to 1 lakh. But now that is not for 1 lakh. Banks have changed their terms. It can extend up to the value of the vehicle and number of years. and depending on the individual also. If the individual is worthy enough to pay more amount, they'll be giving more amount. And if the car has a more value, they'll be giving that value. Okay. Next is refinancing. Provides a provision to get another loan at a lower interest rate when the old car loan is fully paid. Already మనం న్యూ కార్ కి లోన్ తీసుకున్నాము. We paid it for 3 years or 5 years. Then after that we want some money. So we are hypothecating this car with the bank again for another 1-2 years or 3 years maximum, and we are taking some loan at a lower interest rate. That's called refinancing. Then two-wheeler loans given only purchase of new two-wheelers. కొత్త టూ వీలర్ కొనుక్కోవడానికి లోన్స్ ఇస్తాము. వీఆర్ నాట్ ఎనీ బ్యాంక్ వోంట్ గివ్ ఎనీ లోన్ టు ఎనీ యూజ్డ్ బైక్ నార్ రీఫైనాన్స్ ఆన్ ద బైక్. సో నాట్ ఓన్లీ దిస్ car loans, but banks give loans for trucks, banks give loans for tractors, banks give loans for autos, buses. There are a lot of other things. Banks provide loans for all the things. Okay. In any aviation industry also, if somebody, any aviation company wants to buy an aeroplane also, they'll give a loan for that also, but not for individual players, for the business people only. Okay. What do you learn out of this loans? This is what the key learning of our retail banking, but now we will be talking about personal loans. Okay. Why do we need personal loans? మన personal loans ఎందుకు కావాలి? Why do we need personal loans? Anybody? Any idea why do we require personal loans?
అంటే ఏదైనా షాప్ పెట్టుకోవడానికి ఇలా
బిజినెస్ లోన్ తీసుకోవచ్చు. మనకి లోన్ ఎలిజిబిలిటీ లేదంటే అప్పుడు పర్సనల్ లోన్ తీసుకోవచ్చు. ఇంకా దేనికి కావాల్సి వస్తుంది?
మ్యారేజెస్ కి.
Yes. If there is marriage happening in the family, you want some money, you can keep a personal loan. Then don't ask me, sir, can we keep a personal loan for giving some parties to friends? Yes.
ఎమర్జెన్సీ ఇస్తున్నప్పుడు.
Yeah, emergencies. What sort of emergencies?
Any
ఆపరేషన్స్.
What emergencies? Medical emergencies?
Yes.
Okay. Info? Anything other than that? Why do you take personal loans? Any idea?
వెహికల్స్ ఫైనాన్షియల్ పే చేయడం.
I'll tell you. You'll be taking personal loans for marriages. You'll be taking loans if you want to go for any abroad vacations or anything. If you want to pay medical emergencies.
Vacation.
Yes. And you will take personal loans because you want something, you want to buy something, you're not eligible for any home loan or anything. You might take a personal loan of a smaller amount and you can do that. Yes. Personal loans is a unsecured loan. You don't need to give any security. In the previous two loans, bank would mortgage your property if they give you a loan. They mortgage your house, they mortgage your land, and they give you a loan. If it is two-wheeler or if it is four-wheeler, they hypothecate your vehicle. Yes, but in personal loans, they don't take any hypothecation or mortgage. It is very unsecured loan. So that loan would be limited. The loan amount would be ranging from like 50,000 till 10 lakhs only. But in any home loan or any car loan, they can go up to 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs, depending on the property, depending on the individual worthiness. Okay. అర్థమైనా? నేను చెప్పింది అర్థమైందా?
Yes, sir.
Personal loans are unsecured loans.
Okay.
So the amount would be very less. If it is a home loan, they'll give you like good amount, like 20-30 lakhs కూడా ఇస్తారన్నమాట.
Okay.
Property is secured there with the bank. If it is a car loan also, the car is hypothecated to the bank, so there is some security. But for personal loans, there is no security and no guarantee for that. Less, and the interest rate would be little higher than compared to other loans. Okay.
Okay.
Then other thing is educational loans. Why do you need an educational loan?
To pursue higher education.
Yes. Pursue your higher education, you need your education loan. So loans offered for pursuing higher educations, like undergraduate student loans, for who people are pursuing graduation, they want to have a loan for their graduation purpose, they'll take loan. Then graduate student loans, people who are graduated, they want to do a postgraduate course, or they want to live for abroad and do their MS course or anything from the other countries, or MBA from the other countries, then also you can avail loans. Then career development loans, if you're concentrating on some career related training, career related career development trainings, for that also you can avail loans actually.
Okay.
But they have certain period of a time where they give you like relaxation on EMI.
Clear.
After your graduation, or after your course of education, or after your course in career development, your EMI would start from your account. That is very much mandate. Okay. Of the education loans would be there. Then credit cards. Credit cards are like double-edged knife. You know double-edged knife? There is good and there is a bad in that. If you use credit card properly, that is good. If you can't use credit card properly, then it is a bad one. If you use your credit limit and you're unable to pay that in time, you will be having lot of interest you need to pay on that. Bigger interest amounts, like 24% interest rate or 21% interest rate on the amount which you have purchased. Why do we use credit cards? What is a credit card? Credit card and idea undi kada meeku? A banker would give you a credit card with some credit limit in that. In that credit limit, you can do shopping, you can do anything. You need not to pay anything until unless the credit period, which is the stipulated bank, is not been done. There is a billing cycle. In that billing cycle, you do any purchase, you need to pay by the end of that billing cycle. Okay. Credit card allows you to purchase. Without cash, you can purchase. That's a payment. You can do online purchasing and online ordering. Then you can provide insurance cover on the purchases, cashbacks and so on. When you buy with a credit card, there would be cashbacks, yes? Now we all see cashbacks on anything. You go to any showroom to buy anything. They say if you have a credit card or if you have an Axis Bank credit card, you will get 5% cashback. Yes? If you buy a mobile on the credit card, they'll say no, there's a cashback offer. Mobile konare evarana recent ga? Anybody has bought a mobile recently? Or any TV or anything, electronic gadgets or something through the credit card? Or you have any showroom? Why Dasara was there, Diwali was there, didn't you buy anything? You didn't buy any purchases? How many people have credit card? How many people, fathers have credit card? Only few? Or no one has?
No one has, sir.
If no one has, it's good. If anyone has, they'll give you an example. But credit cards, once you get into the banking industry, you'll be knowing about what credit cards are. Anybody has a debit card?
Yes, sir.
Debit card is nothing but if you have money in your account only, you can use it, yes?
Yes, sir.
Credit card is nothing like that, but a card has a limit, 50,000 limit or anything that is there. You can do a credit purchase out of that. 50,000 up ఇచ్చినట్టు అన్నమాట.
Sir, which one is secure?
Both are secured.
Okay.
Both are secured until you don't give PIN and card number to anybody.
Okay.
If you give your PIN number and card number, then it is gone.
Okay.
So both are secured only. So OTP would come. OTPs and everything you need to see. If the OTP is coming into your account and you share that OTP also, then it would be a problem. Okay, don't share any OTPs or anything to anybody until unless that is there, it is secure. Okay. So credit cards are like, use it in a proper manner. If you don't use it in a proper manner, you don't pay in that 45 days of a period. Like 30 days would be a shopping period and 15 days would be your period to payment. So if you pay in that time, there won't be any interest charges for that amount. It's a free of interest. If you exceed one more day, then the interest rate would be very high. So it's a credit from a bank which is given to individuals by looking at their transactions of salary which has been credited into their corresponding accounts. It has been given cheaper for a short-term borrowing. If you're buying in time, if you're paying in time, then you don't need to pay any interest. If you are not paying in time, then there would be a higher cost for that borrower. Now, I want to give you an activity for all the people who are there online now. నేను మీ అందరికి ఒక యాక్టివిటీ ఇద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నాను. We have dealt with all this now. What is retail banking? Then we talk about personal loans. We have talked about car loans. I've explained to you about education loans, then home loans, small business banking loans, credit cards. Okay. I want you people to take one topic out of this and do a small presentation tomorrow. Come up with what you understand with the small things. What do you understand about personal loans? What did you understand about car loans? What was your understanding for educational loans? Okay. I want you to do a small presentation. Only verbal. You can't show me. You can write it down in your paper or pen. You can explain me through voice. Okay. So there are like 16 participants. Yes. I'll be asking each and everyone. You just tell me what topic you want to take. Okay. Jagdishwari.
Sir.
What topic?
Education loans.
Done. You're taking education loans. Pravalika.
Home loans, sir.
Done. Ravali.
Retail banking, sir.
Chandana.
Personal loans, sir.
Chandana, you're taking personal loans. Okay. Then Pravalika, she spoke. Archana. Archana. Pooja.
Small business banking loan.
Okay. Then Jansi.
Sir.
Yeah, Jansi, what do you want to take?
Credit card.
Credit cards you want to take. Done. Tejaswini.
Retail banking, sir.
Udaysri.
Personal loans, sir.
Isha. If you're unable to speak, you can just write down in the chat box. Sushmita. People who are there in the Zoom, please tell me what is the. If you can't understand, if you're unable to speak, if your internet connection is low, please send it in the chat box. Sandhya, what was your topic?
Credit cards, sir.
Okay. I got one chat. Sushmita said, I want to take credit cards. Okay. All people have taken your topics, yes?
Yes, sir.
So tomorrow, we'll start with a small presentation on these topics. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Done. So prepare for these topics. We'll do it tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
What we learned about today's session, we were learning about all the loans. And Archana, you can take credit cards. But you need to explain me properly, okay? We learned about personal loans. Why do we take personal loans? Then why do you take interest credit cards? Why do you take educational loans and everything? So this is the end of the session. We were talking about all the banking related. We were talking about commercial banks. We talked about retail banking and everything. Now the other topic, the last topic of the day, that is our NBFC. Okay, we'll be getting into NBFCs. Any idea about NBFC?
NBFCs.
Yes. We were talking about banking and NBFC categorization of financial institutions.
Net banking, financial.
You didn't learn you were not hearing this session in the last thing. NBFC is not net banking. It is non-banking
National
financial
non-bank
corporations.
non-banking
Financial corporation.
Non-banking financial companies.
Companies and corporations. Okay. So we will be dealing with this non-banking financial companies or corporations. What's the major difference between banking and this NBFCs? Okay. We'll be understanding the salient features of NBFCs, identify what types of NBFCs are there, okay? NBFCs are the companies which will not be having a full banking license. They don't have any full banking license. They have only limited banking license where they can majorly lend loans. They can't accept demand deposits. And they doesn't fall under Banking Act 1949. They fall under Companies Act 1956. These NBFCs are managed by Ministry of Corporate Affairs and they fall under RBI. RBI would just give only guidance to them, but they don't have much, they doesn't fall under much authority of RBI. But when something arises, RBI can cancel their licenses. RBI would give them a license as a semi bank where they can only lend the loans and they can do some transactions. NBFCs engage in the business of giving loans and advances, money transfer facilities, acquisition of shares, stocks, debentures issued by the government. NBFCs generally will not accept demand deposits from the public. Can you give me one example of an NBFC which you can see day to day? మీరు మీ కళ్ళ ముందే కనిపిస్తూ ఉంటుంది ఎన్బిఎఫ్సి ఏంటది? ఎనీ ఐడియా అబౌట్ ఎనీ ఎన్బిఎఫ్సి? మీకు అనిపిస్తూ ఉంటుంది చాలా. ఇందాక నాకు టాపిక్లో చెప్పారు, లోన్స్ చెప్పుకున్నప్పుడు యూ సెడ్ దాట్
money lenders.
ఎన్బిఎఫ్సి మనీ లెండర్స్ కాదు. మనీ లెండర్స్ ఇస్ లైక్ ఎ ప్రైవేట్ సెక్టర్ గాన్.
Okay.
అన్ని ఊర్లలో ఉన్నాయన్నమాట ఇవి. మేజర్లీ పీపుల్ వుడ్ గో దేర్ టు గెట్ దేర్ మనీ వెరీ ఫాస్ట్లీ.
ATMs.
No, ATMs are not NBFC, beta. I'll give you a hint, gold loans. I gave you a hint, gold loans.
Muthoot Finance.
Exactly. మీ ఏరియాలో అన్ని చోట్ల ముత్తూట్ ఫైనాన్స్ కనిపిస్తానే ఉంటుంది కదా. It's an NBFC which gives loans. They don't take demand deposits. You go deposit your loan gold with them, they give you a loan with the interest. So they are mainly into giving loans and advances. There are certain NBFCs who deal with forex. There are certain NBFCs who deal with shares and everything. There are certain NBFCs who deal with stock exchange and everything. There are certain NBFCs who deal only with the debenture issued by the government. They never accept demand deposits. Can you name any NBFC? Other NBFC? Have you been to any mobile showrooms? Recent times, mobile కొనడానికి ఎప్పుడైనా షోరూమ్కి వెళ్ళారా? Anytime. Mahindra Finance. Next.
Shriram Transport.
Yes, Shriram is also an NBFC. Next. When you example చెప్తున్నాను, you been to any mobile showroom, then you will be hearing that name actually. మొబైల్ కొనుక్కోవడానికి వెళ్ళలేదా రీసెంట్ గా ఎవరు కూడా? అక్కడ ఫైనాన్స్ ఆప్షన్ ఉంది అంటే ఏ ఫైనాన్స్ అంటారు అందరూ? Anytime you heard about Bajaj Finance? Yes. Bajaj Finance is also an NBFC. So these people doesn't accept demand deposits. They will be only in the process of giving you loans. So the salient features of an NBFC is NBFCs cannot accept a demand deposit from the public. NBFCs can't offer interest rates higher than the ceiling rate prescribed by the RBI. They can accept FDs, but they can't give more interest as compared to the banks. Whatever the RBI says the interest rate, that interest rate should be given. NBFCs cannot offer gifts, incentives, or any other additional benefits to the depositors. Banks can offer additional benefits to the depositors. They can offer lockers, they can offer any other sort of a banking related thing. But NBFCs can't offer anything. They can't offer gifts. You come and deposit with me, I'll give you a car. No, NBFCs can't do that. Or banks would also don't do that, but banks would give you up leverage. If you have a deposit, a fixed deposit with our bank, we'll be giving you some loans, we'll be giving you some lockers and everything. That would be the additional benefits which banks would give, but NBFCs can't give it. Now see, based on the nature of the activities, the NBFCs are divided into two categories. One is based on the deposits, based on the non-deposits, based on the activities. There are companies which give loans. There are NBFCs with mortgage, like golds and everything, they give loans. There are companies who are into investments, they only invest. There are some core investment companies, they invest into shares and everything. There are infrastructure companies, they give loan lending to the infrastructure development. They give microfinance companies are there, they give small loans to the small people. Then there are housing finance companies, they give for the development of housing and everything. And there are companies who accept deposits. There are companies who don't accept deposits. There are only few corporations which are accepting deposits. There are like 3 or 4 companies which accept deposits. Like Sundaram is there. One is Shriram is there. Then Bajaj is there. They are accepting deposits. Rest all the companies, they are not accepting deposits. Then when we are coming into infrastructure development and everything, there is L&T Finance, there is Tata Investment, Tata Capitals and everything. They're all into this sort of activities. So now have you written all these things? మీరు ఇవన్నీ రాసుకున్నారా? ఎవరెవరు ఎన్బిఎఫ్సిస్ ఏ డివిజన్ లో కేటగరైజ్ అయ్యాయని?
Yes, sir.
So now you need to give me an example for a loan company. You need to give me an example for mortgage company, mortgage guarantee company. You need to give me an example for investment company. You need to give me an example for core investment company. You need to give me an infrastructure finance company, microfinance company, housing finance company. Okay. నాకు వీటి గురించి ఒక్కొక్క ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నాకు రేపు రాసి మీరు తీసుకోనండి, నాట్ టుడే. ఓకే.
Okay.
హ్యావ్ యూ రిటన్ ఆల్ దిస్ థింగ్స్? మీరు ప్రింట్ స్క్రీన్ మీద ఉన్నది రాసుకున్నారా? Have you written this?
Yes, sir.
So out of this learning, what we learned is how NBFC has come into that. NBFC comes under Companies Act 1956. They cannot offer higher interest than RBI. NBFCs cannot offer gifts or incentives or any other additional benefits on the depositors, on the deposited money by the depositors. Then we have come to know about the types of NBFCs depending on the nature and activity, then depending on the acceptance of deposits. I gave you an activity, మీకు రెండు యాక్టివిటీస్ ఇచ్చాను నేను ఈరోజు. ఒకటి మీ లోన్స్ గురించి, మీ పర్సనల్ బ్యాంకింగ్ గురించి రేపు ప్రెజెంటేషన్. దెన్ ఇంకో యాక్టివిటీ ఏంటంటే మీరు ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఇప్పుడు
Examples. NBF.
I think someone are in the musical class also. So better you have been into 2 classes anukunta, but concentrate on 1 class, that would be better. So today's session would be ending now. Ero session end avutundi. I want you people to on the screen so that I need to take your attendance once. If you're on the screen, then it's let me take your singing, or somebody is into the musical class. Please on your cams once. Uday, Sri, Sushmita, Pooja. Oh, don't exit from your. Okay. This is we have ended the session. Pooja, Jagdishwari, Pravalika, Sandhya.
Yes, sir.
Pooja.
Yes, sir.
Uday, Sri, could you just on your camera? Jagdishwari. Sandhya. Jagdishwari.
On అవ్వట్లేదు సార్. On is.
Okay. Hello.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for this session. We are going to end up your session right now. Prepare your presentation tomorrow. Write down in the piece of paper and come down. I don't want you to be any presentation. I don't need any presentation. Just what you understood. Okay. Present it tomorrow properly, and example for NBFCs also. Okay. Hello. Have a nice.
Sir.
Go ahead and enjoy your day. Come prepared tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Friends to join the meeting by 9:30. Tell everyone that they need to present in the meeting. Like we are expecting.
Okay.
But I'm waiting today. Please communicate with them. Okay. It's a career-oriented program. You will have placements after this session also. Okay.
Okay.
We'll be having interviews and everything. There will be a lot of questions coming out of this session only. Then prepared for that. In the sessions also in the middle, we'll be having your assessments. Please go through that. Carefully follow the training. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Catch you up tomorrow 9:30. The same link is there in your group. Add with that till Saturday. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Hello then. Thank you.
Bye.